Good day, everyone. Welcome to our group presentation for DBA5144 Global Marketing Strategies. Our case study is titled Tesco's Rebound, Market Repositioning and Brand Revival in the UK and in Ireland. I'm Rosania, and I'm honored to be joined by my fellow DBA candidates, Kin, Ruby, Betty, and Mazwin. Over the next 15 minutes, we'll be taking you through Tesco's journey, highlighting key insights using marketing theories and data-backed analysis. Let me begin by summarizing our case study in a nutshell. Tesco, one of the UK's leading grocery retailers, made a strategic decision to exit its Asian markets. This bold move allowed Tesco to refocus its efforts on its core markets in Western Europe. As pressure from low-cost competitors like Aldi and Lidl intensified, Tesco faced an urgent need to redefine its market strategy. Our key recommendations center on pricing competitiveness, loyalty building, innovation in omni-channel experiences, and strengthening brand equity for long-term growth and relevance. Let's take a quick look at Tesco's background. Founded in 1919 by Jack Cohen, Tesco started out as a humble market stall and evolved into the UK's largest grocery and general retail chain. However, by 2020, Tesco was profitably challenged by several of its overseas markets. As a result, it made the strategic decision to exit countries such as Japan, the United States, South Korea, Thailand, and Malaysia. Today, Tesco commands a dominant 27% share of the UK grocery market, operating over 3,800 stores. As Tesco repositions in the UK and Ireland, it faces three key marketing challenges. First, despite holding a 27 to 28% market share in the UK, it's under pressure from discounters like Aldi and Lidl, who now command over 16.4%. Second, changing consumer habits post-pandemic, including a rise in online grocery shopping, have driven Tesco to strengthen its e-commerce and personalized offers via Clubcard data. Third, Tesco must balance value with emotional branding, combining price campaigns like Aldi Price Match with storytelling initiatives like the Food Love Stories to build loyalty. With that, I'll now pass to Kin to cover Tesco's STP and 4Ps.
Thank you, Rosania. In this part of the presentation, I'll be walking you through Tesco's global market segmentation, targeting, and positioning framework. Let's begin with global market segmentation. Historically, Tesco applied a standardized segmentation approach in its global expansion. Interestingly enough, over time in its home market, the UK adapted by smartly leveraging data from its loyalty program called Clubcard to create highly tailored segments across over 20 million users. In Malaysia, on the other hand, Tesco applied an adaptation strategy to localize its segmentation policy to incorporate cultural and religious sensitivities. Next, looking at international market targeting. Whilst Tesco did an excellent job in the UK by mapping users based on income, preferences, and location to increase consideration, in Malaysia, Tesco unfortunately left halal-conscious and ethically minded consumers bereft of personalized promotions. This misalignment led towards a weakened market position. Finally, we examine Tesco's global positioning strategy. In the United Kingdom, Tesco positioned itself around both price competitiveness and social responsibility, which worked especially well with British shoppers on the lookout for deals while doing their bit for the planet. However, in Malaysia, its cost leadership was contested due to strong rivalry from low-cost peers such as NSK and Giant. In summary, Tesco's rebound after retreating from Asia was fueled by its ability to act on its insights. In the UK, leveraging data for smarter segmentation and targeting made its promotions both relevant and ultimately more effective. With that, I'll now move on to share how Tesco translated these insights into an effective marketing mix. Starting with the product, Tesco adopted a dual-tier strategy offering both affordable value ranges and premium lines, recognizing the need to cater to diverse demands from the community. On the topic of price, in the UK, Tesco innovated to introduce initiatives such as personalized Clubcard discounts, while also proactively matching prices with local discounters such as Aldi and Sainsbury to stay competitive. For place, Tesco emphasized convenience by expanding its footprint beyond hypermarkets to also encompass new retail stores whilst enhancing its e-commerce capabilities. The launch of new micro-fulfillment centers enabled speedier response to online demand, particularly to tech-savvy and urbane consumers seeking multi-channel access. Coming to promotions, Tesco moved away from standardized mass advertising, moving towards personalized, data-driven promotions. Campaigns now emphasize community values, sustainability, and incorporated elements of emotional storytelling. Altogether, these 4 Ps demonstrate how Tesco has realigned its marketing strategy to better meet the expectations of modern consumers. By tailoring product offerings, optimizing pricing, and ultimately enhancing accessibility. With that, I'll now pass it over to my teammate Ruby, who will be sharing her thoughts on Tesco's global expansion strategy. Over to you.
Thanks, Kim. Building on Tesco's strategic marketing mix, I will now take you through its global expansion strategy and entry mode analysis, which explains how Tesco evolved its presence both at home and abroad. Let's begin with the strategic foundations in the UK and Ireland. Tesco's stronghold in these markets is largely credited to the early success of the Tesco Club Card, launched in 1995. Equally important was Tesco's multi-format store strategy. Rather than relying on one store type, Tesco diversified its formats. This gave Tesco the flexibility to serve various lifestyles, from budget families to busy urban shoppers, all under one umbrella. Moving on to entry modes, Tesco employed a mix of strategies in its international growth. In Ireland, acquisitions played a supporting role. Tesco made selective buys of local chains to quickly penetrate the market and establish operational presence without starting from scratch. Additionally, Tesco forged strategic alliances, especially with suppliers, to enhance supply chain efficiency and product differentiation. Now, let's touch on recent strategic developments. The most impactful shift was Tesco's digital transformation. With omni-channel retailing at the forefront, Tesco invested in online grocery platforms. These moves allowed Tesco to scale rapidly in the post-pandemic digital economy. To stay ahead of discounters like Aldi and Lidl, Tesco also had to navigate competitive and regulatory challenges. It responded with aggressive price cuts, refreshed store layouts, and agile procurement strategies. These efforts highlighted Tesco's resilience and its ability to adapt quickly under pressure. Next, let's explore the macro environmental factors impacting Tesco through the Pestle framework. Starting with politics, Brexit has created significant uncertainty. Customs tariffs and cross-border trade restrictions have raised operational complexity. From an economic perspective, rising inflation and energy prices have driven up production and logistic costs while tightening households' budget. Social trends are equally influential. Consumers are becoming more health conscious, favoring plant-based diets and ethically sourced goods. On the technological front, Tesco relies heavily on AI, robotics, and data analytics to drive efficiency. At the same time, it has made significant investment in cybersecurity to protect consumer data. Legally, Tesco must adhere to strict employment and consumer laws. Lastly, under environmental factor, Tesco has pledged to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2035. These micro factors collectively shape Tesco's strategic priorities and operational resilience. With that, I will now hand it over to Betty, who will take you through our competitive benchmarking and financial performance analysis.
Thank you, Ruby. Let's take a closer look on how Tesco stacks up against key competitors through competitive benchmarking analysis. On the price leadership, Aldi and Lidl are undisputed cost leaders, offering a lean stock keeping units SKUs range between 2,000 to 4,500 items. On product range, Tesco offers a far more extensive catalogue, spanning over 25,000 SKUs that cover both budget premium segment, supported by its efficient supply chain. In contrast, sharply with Aldi and Lidl narrower, largely private label offerings are offered by them. On the quality perceptions, Tesco's improved its premium image through its finest range rivals with Sainsbury's Taste the Difference line. One of the Tesco's strongest differentiator is its loyalty strategy. The Club Card ecosystem enables precise customer segmentation, personalization, promotion, and retention strategies that few rivals can replicate. Finally, under digital maturity, Tesco is a clear frontrunner. It leads the UK in e-grocery with 27% online market share and excels in automation, analytics, and rapid fulfillment. In summary, Tesco's strategy to blend value with quality, loyalty, and digital leadership has allowed it to remain ahead of its competitors. Let's take a look at Tesco's financial performance over the last 5 years to understand how its strategy decision translate into measurable outcome. As shown in figure 9.1, this reflects the success of its value-driven pricing strategy, loyalty program, and operational efficiency used by Tesco. Tesco also maintains a solid 5.4% gross margin even during inflationary period. This was made possible through real-time analytics supported by dynamic pricing and efficient stock management. Lastly, Tesco's investment in tech-enabled products like AI-powered supply chains and hybrid pricing tools help it maintain sales volume and improve customer satisfaction in a volatile market. With those financial results in mind, I'll pass it on to Mazwin, who will walk us through our strategic recommendation for sustaining Tesco's leadership moving forward.
Thank you, Betty. Based on our analysis, we propose 3 strategic recommendations to sustain Tesco's competitive leadership and market relevance. Our first recommendation is to enhance digital personalization and omnichannel integration. Tesco's Club Card database, boasting over 20 million active members, is a goldmine of consumer insights. To fully unlock its potential, Tesco should move from mass marketing towards predictive, AI-driven personalization. A key element here is expanding the Whoosh 1-hour delivery service to meet rising customer expectations for speed and convenience. Our second recommendation is to differentiate beyond price by building emotional brand equity. A refreshed campaign like "It's not a little thing, it's everything" can deepen customers' connection by celebrating life stories, family meals, celebration, and acts of kindness. At the same time, expanding premium private labels with emotional storytelling and artisanal appeal can help attract aspirational customers. Finally, we recommend an integrated roadmap for growth. Tesco can reinvest part of its 2.76 billion profits into AI and brand equity by aligning the resource-based view with the SKP models. Will allow Tesco to sustain its leadership in a complex and competitive retail landscape. In conclusion, Tesco's journey from global overreach to strategic focus highlights a crucial pivot. Exiting underpinning Asian markets allowed Tesco to refocus on its core strengths in the UK and Ireland. The central challenge was clear. How could Tesco defend and expand its leadership amid growing pressure from discounters, digital disruptions, and changing customer expectations? The answer lies in Tesco's hybrid value proposition of affordability, quality, and convenience, supported by internal assets like Club Card data, diversified store formats, and a digitally enhanced supply chain. With that, I will now pass it back to Rosania to lead us into the Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you, Mazwin, for that insightful wrap-up. We'll now open the floor to our Q&A panel session. Let's begin with the first question, which will be answered by Kin. Kin, one of the audience members asked, how did Tesco's global market segmentation and marketing mix strategies help it rebound effectively in the UK and Ireland?
Thank you, Rosania. That is indeed a relevant and important question. Tesco's rebound in its home market was largely driven by its refined approach to market segmentation, targeting, and positioning. Globally, Tesco defined standardized segments to scale its operations, but what really stood out in the UK was the use of Club Card data fueled by over 20 million active users. This enabled Tesco to move from broad segmentation to hyper-personalized offers. In Malaysia, whilst Tesco localized segments to also define halal and eco-conscious shoppers, Unfortunately, these preferences were not acted upon. Tesco's phenomenal success in Europe was predicated heavily by its strong motivation in taking action through highly relevant promotions that boosted both customer satisfaction and ultimately lifetime value.
Thanks, Kin. Now let's move on. This next question is for Ruby. Ruby, an audience member would like to know, how did Tesco's global expansion and entry strategies together with the pestle factors in the UK and Ireland shape its decision to retrench and refocus?
Thank you, Rizania. That's a comprehensive question that touches on two very interconnected aspects. Tesco's earlier global expansion involved a mix of entry strategies. Organic growth in some regions like UK and Ireland, where they had full control over store branding and operations, and acquisitions in others such as South Korea and Thailand. However, despite this multi-pronged expansion, Tesco faced challenges in aligning its brand promise with local consumer expectations, particularly in Asian markets. Politically, supply chain disruptions and tariff complications. Then we talk about economically, inflation and cost of living pressures. And socially, post-pandemic behaviors led to an increase in online grocery shopping and health-conscious choices. Technologically, advancements like AI and robotics played to Tesco's strengths, while legal and environmental obligations pushed the company towards more ethical and sustainable practices. By aligning its strategies with these macro environmental trends, such as expanding whoosh delivery, reducing carbon emissions, and adopting AI-powered supply chain systems, Tesco could stabilize operations and cater to the rapidly evolving market demands. So the decision to retrench from underperforming global markets was not just reactive. It was a strategic pivot to leverage home ground advantages and align more tightly with political, economic, and social realities. Thank you.
Very insightful, Ruby. Thank you. Now, let's move to a performance-based question. This one is for Betty. Betty, in terms of competitive benchmarking, how does Tesco fare against Aldi, Lidl, and Sainsbury? And how does that tie in with a financial performance rebound?
Thank you, Rosania. Tesco shows a very clear strategic edge. Aldi and Lidl dominate on price, but Tesco competes smartly with Aldi price match, keeping prices competitive on key items. Others like club card deals and value packs appealing to budget shoppers without losing its premium touch. Meanwhile, Sainsbury's lean towards quality and brand appeal, but Tesco blends both cost leadership and differentiation, meaning blending strategically positioning itself in a sweet spot, a hybrid strategy of both's model. Its club card functioned as a powerful data-driven loyalty engine, enabling personalized offers, enhancing customers' retention. All of these translate into strong performance, where revenue rose 13.6 from 57.9 billion in 2021 to 65.8 billion in 2024. While same-time operating profit also surged 53% to 2.76 billion pounds. Tesco strategically isn't just competitive, it's clearly delivering its result. Thank you.
Thanks, Betty. Finally, we have one more question for Mazwin. Mazwin, your recommendations were centered on hyper-personalization and emotional branding. Why did you choose this direction, and were there other alternatives considered?
Great question, Rosania. We chose to focus on hyper-personalization and emotional branding because these strategies leverage Tesco's most valuable internal assets, namely its club card data, analytics performance, and established brand recognition. By moving beyond price and embracing data-driven personalization, Tesco can create highly relevant real-time offers that resonate with individual customers. This approach not only increases conversation but also builds lasting loyalty. Emotional branding, on the other hand, taps into something deeper. Campaign like Food Love Stories and It's Not a Little Thing, It's Everything demonstrate how Tesco can align with moments that matter. We believe that by combining data-driven efficiency and emotional resonance, Tesco can create a competitive moat that's hard to replicate.
Thank you, Mazwin, and thank you to all our speakers for the thoughtful and insightful responses. And of course, thank you to our audience for your attention and engagement. We hope this session has shed light on Tesco's strategic rebound, its core strengths, and how effective repositioning can turn challenges into long-term growth. With that, we conclude our presentation. Have a great day ahead, everyone.